Okay. Sinker making 101. After all, this is YouTube, you remember? So, I am running an adjustable pot. I'm also keeping my noggin back out the way because you can see there's some bubbles coming up in there. And this lead has been wet. So that's something we have to watch out for. Normally, I would have the mold sitting on top, which actually I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I generally set these on top while the lead is melting to let them start heating up. We're going to start out with the 95 grain sinkers. A few things that you want to have on hand. I have my molds for the next go round, but a nice hardwood mallet, and you can see how long we've had this and how long it's been chewed up. That's literally been chewed up. That's where the dog got a hold of it. But this is from beating the blocks out. This is solid oak. Oh, I take that back. That's hickory. Yikes. But a good hickory stick, good hardwood oak stick. We'll get into that and you'll see what we're talking about on it. I do have a catch pan, which I'm using the ingot mold for my catch pan under the spout. These pots are notorious for getting a leak, getting a drip, and if you don't have something under it to catch it, and you also want to watch about when it starts building up. It's kind of like a stalactite in the cave. When it starts building up, when it hits that, it's going to splatter. Again, I should be wearing long sleeves. Do as I say, not as I do. That's at your own peril, but you definitely want to put long sleeves on for this. You'll need 2 boxes, catch box for the bullets, and I use just a nice bath towel. When I fold my bath towel, as you can see, get fit in there, I put the folded end toward me. The reason for that is when we start stacking bullets in here, we don't want hot bullets, which are, sinkers, which are still going to be soft, landed on top of each other. So just work your way back this way. When you start getting them piled up, simply take and lift up the corner of your towel, cloth, sheet, whatever you have in there. Simply gently roll them down. That'll stack them up at the bottom, because as they cool, they'll get harder and harder. Once you get to this end, once you've thrown 2 or 3, they're going to be hard enough that it's not going to hurt. You're just going to roll them up in a pile. Drop all of your sinkers on this end. Then we have our Sprue Box. Those of you that aren't familiar with what the sprue is, when you fill your sinker mold, and try and do this one-handed in the camera, you're going to have your open cavity inside. This being a 6 cavity, it has a cam lever sprue cutter, which you'll see when we get to actually molding, which snaps open. Where you pour in to fill the molds is your sprue, which that will go in the scrap pile. So since we're going to remelt all of these and continue casting, you need a catch box for them. Just any old box will work. I prefer a bigger box, but that's the one I had on hand. Drink flats work great for this. This is actually the lid off of a copy paper ring box. That's just my spare lead over there for more sinkers in case they run low. Screwdriver. Again, these pots are notorious to start leaking. You need something that you can grab quick and get in there and start adjusting your flow or turn your flow off in case it starts pouring out the bottom. Now I'm about to go grab the torch. This model of pot is notorious. When you get the lead to the right pour temperature, if you don't pour for a couple of minutes, then that nozzle will be cold, and as you can see, there's a drop starting to form. So I've got to watch that. Like I said, these are notorious to leak. So just be expecting on that. Another reason you want to wear long sleeve shirts, make sure you have safety glasses on. A lot of people do this in the full face shield, and that's not a bad idea. I'm not going to be able to wear my face shield today because I've got to put the other camera on, and the only way I can do the drop film on this is with a GoPro taped to my head, so hopefully that works out, but it's a 50-50 shot. Pliers, channel lock, something like that. You're going to need that when you start getting the drips down here on the bottom, as that maybe you can see when that starts building up. You're going to have to move that out the way. You want a good pair of pliers. Also, if you need to put more lead in the pot, it's a good idea to have a pair of long handle pliers. Put it in with your head completely out the way. Let me see if I can adjust this and turn this down and get the drip to stop dripping. That was worse. There we go. Okay. So this is just the prep work. Now I'm going to turn this down, and we'll get into, well, I guess we can go ahead and I have no flux out here, so we're not going to be able to flux it yet. I will set these off. Now, again, just like anything else, I used that to clean the spider webs off a few minutes ago. Cast iron steel spoons, they will retain lube and moisture, so keep your head back when you go to put that in. I'm also at a disadvantage here because I'm trying to look behind the camera and do that too. But this is sizzling and popping. Now this is just going to be the first dross here. I am going to wait about scraping that off until I put the flux in. But this is what we need before we get started. Again, cushion in a box to drop in, scrap box for sprues, your molds, a catch pan. If you're doing this with a non-pour pot, it's all pretty much the same principle, except needing a pan to catch. You're going to have your spoon, you're going to dip out, pour into the molds. But the majority of you are probably going to be doing this with some kind of, even if it's the cheaper production pots where it's going to pour. But we will cover the non-pouring pots in a short additional video after this. Okay, I'm going to go grab my flux. This is almost up to temp. Get the other camera, and we will start pouring.